Okay, this is just going to be a short video about IELTS speaking, and in particular I'm going to be thinking about opinion vocabulary in IELTS speaking. As you will be aware, vocabulary is a very important part of all the modules in IELTS, and it's important in speaking as well. The question is, what sort of vocabulary do you need? You need topic vocabulary, vocabulary to talk about families, vocabulary to talk about work, etc. But that's not the most important vocabulary, maybe. Because you only need family vocabulary if you're asked a question about families. You may not be. There is one type of vocabulary, however, which you're going to need every single time. And that's the vocabulary for opinions. In part 1, in part 2, in part 3 of a test, you will be giving your opinion. It's something you'll be doing all the time. This is not a must, but this is a very strong suggestion. The suggestion is that you avoid the big word here in the middle, I think. When I say avoid, you use it, of course you do. It is the most common word we have in English for this idea. But there are different possibilities. Now, we have different colours here. Now, in my opinion, you'll be familiar with, I think, in my opinion, we have a variety here. But now, if you ask me, as I see it, personally speaking, I'd say we have there 5 different variations. Do you need them all? Maybe not. But the reason I'm showing you 5 variations here is all of you are different, and the suggestion is you choose 2 or 3 of those which you think are good. And these pink words here, these are the words or some of the words and phrases for saying, this is what I think. This is emphasis on I. Now, over here we have blue and green. Part of this is about having variation, not using the same word, I think, all the time. But it's slightly more than that. I'm sure that's a sort of 100% idea. You bang your fist on the table. You sure, you know. Let's look at variations here. Okay, I'm convinced, I'm certain. 3 variations. I'm sure, I'm convinced, I'm certain. But you can be not just convinced, you can be absolutely convinced. And with certain, you can be quite certain. Or you can be quite certain. A little bit of difference in pronunciation there. If you stress the certain, it's 100%. If you stress the quite, it's a 50% sort of concept. You're not absolutely certain. It's the same, really, as fairly certain. Or, another possibility, absolutely certain. And again, the idea here is that you have different variations of saying, not just I think, but I strongly think. Opposite to that, in a way, we have this word, I suppose. That's the word most of you will be familiar with. Let's click. Variations here. I suppose, I guess, can also mean I think. In fact, it's a very common idiom in English. Another one which may be new to you here is I reckon. It's a nice word to use. And it's a sort of word, if you use in the IELTS speaking, the examiner will notice and think, aha, this one's got variation in English. So, I think people should give up smoking. Nah, I reckon people should give up smoking. Or another weak thinking word here is I imagine. So we got personal ones here, strong ones here, weak ones here, and then there's another concept. It's not always using verbs. Think of these adverbs. Perhaps, if you think about it, is a thinking word. It's saying, I'm not absolutely certain. Very close word to perhaps maybe. Slightly different to that is we have of course. It's an opinion word, if you think about it. And then another word belonging in this group here is probably. Now, I'm looking at a piece of paper here and I'm guessing probably 20 words. Do you need 20? No. You need some of these. And as I said slightly earlier, the point is you choose the ones which you personally feel comfortable with. It's called your idiolect. Different people use different words. Okay, I'm going to be posting a list of these words to download on my website.